Hey everybody, welcome to Diggnation, episode numero dos. I'm Alec Albrecht.
And I'm Kevin Rose. If you're unfamiliar with Diggnation...
They're all unfamiliar with Diggnation.
It's our... Well, actually, yeah, we called it the Dig Podcast last week, but...
We didn't have a name, we didn't have a website, we didn't have anything.
We have all that now.
Yeah.
The name is Diggnation. The website is diggnation.com with 2 Gs. And of course, we are a weekly podcast that covers all the top stories on dig.com, which is digg.com.
Right, and if you don't know already, dig.com is... Well, it's a technology news site, but it's a little different than other news sites because basically it's all user-driven. The entire content is all supplied and voted on by the users. So there's like a big stack of user-submitted articles and just even websites, just things that people think are cool.
Yeah.
Weird. Some of the stuff is like four-legged dogs.
I know, it's like doesn't even belong on Dig.
All dogs
You have to
four-legged.
report that stuff, though. I guess
But anyway,
you totally threw me.
four-legged dogs. That's great. But anyway, so what happens is that they can then choose. The users can go in and read through this pile of stories,
right,
and click on the ones that they think are cool and dig them up to the main page. And if enough people think it's worthy of getting to the main page, it's on the main page. You don't even have to worry about it.
Done. Oh, we got to talk about our rankings.
Oh, dude, we did great.
Yes. We got to thank everybody out there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for voting for us.
For voting for us, especially at podcastalley.com.
One day or 2 days?
I think it took 2.
2 days we made the number one podcast.
The reason why it took 2 is because there was an old like March thing called Digcast. This guy tried to make a Digcast.
Right.
And so there was like one episode that people got on before we were even listed at the at podcastalley.com.
Well, we told people to go vote for us.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, though, here's the problem. I released the episode before I submitted us to Podcast Alley.
Why would you do that?
No, I wasn't thinking because
You didn't think there'd be another Digcast, which there was.
Well, I had heard there was another Digcast, but I hadn't checked it out yet. But yeah,
well, it was the number 4th ranked podcast of the week.
Why it got ranked number 4 is because we told people like, hey, find us on Podcast Alley. They did a search for Dig, and that came up. And they're like, oh, this must be Kevin and Alex, and they dug it.
Yeah.
And, well, they didn't dig it because it wasn't on Dig.
They voted for it. Dig story.
That's right. They voted for it, and it was like instantly number 4. And then I was just like, oh crap. So anyway, then I submitted our site to Podcast Alley, and it turns out that he has like this big like backlog and queue for approving sites.
Oh no!
So dude, no, and get this.
Did you like email him?
Yeah,
and be like, dude.
Yeah. So here's what I did. I found his IM address.
Oh, nice.
And I instant messaged him, and I was like, hey, just want to let you know there's been a big mix-up. I'm like, can you please approve our site? And he was cool enough to say, okay, yeah, no worries, I'll take care of it. He approved us, got us in the queue. People found the right story, and they dug it, and then now we're number 1.
Even though it wasn't Doug, you got to get that Dig.
Sorry,
I mean, it's okay to have Dig in your head when we're doing the Dig podcast.
I have too much Dig in my head.
You got to dig that crap out of your head. Did I say that?
Yeah, we can
bleep that out.
Talk about iTunes.
iTunes. Oh, so it's great that we're number 1 on Podcast Alley. That's huge. And podnova.com, I think is.
Yeah, Podnova's another one. We're like number 14.
12.
12.
Thank you very much for the confidence.
Bumped up.
But iTunes, you gotta if you subscribe to this RSS feed or to this podcast through another service, whatever, iPod or X or whatever, however you get it. Resubscribe through iTunes just for us, because right now we were nowhere on the list. We've only been on iTunes for like 3 days.
I know.
And we're already now number 35,
which is awesome.
Top 100
which is pretty
podcasts.
crazy, considering like all podcasts out there. There's like thousands and thousands of podcasts.
Dude, we're beating out like NPR and crap.
No, we're
like,
not. Are we really?
I swear to God, there's some NPR stuff that's
that's freaking awesome.
Sure, it's like Morning Kitchen or whatever, where it's like, who gives a crap about that?
Hey, but still,
we're beating Morning Kitchen, you bastards.
Dude, I was going to tell you something. We took pictures. What? We should tell people about the pictures we took.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
we have that sort of dorky generic podcast logo, which is like that pink, purple.
Every new podcast that is submitted to iTunes gets this really like pawn figure.
If it doesn't have an album cover.
Right. Well, the trick is that the album cover has to be put into RSS, and like Apple has this new kind of proprietary little format for how they want.
People were pissed. Some of the RSS, even the people who created the RSS concept.
Right. Yeah, I know. And it's been a big kind of like just back and forth between people. But the cool thing is though that we've got it figured out. We're gonna get our album cover art up there.
Dude, we took some
pretty funny pictures. They were pretty terrible.
Some of them were good, and most of them were crap.
But we should upload those pictures to like a Flickr or Text America account.
Why?
Because the people want to see that stuff.
All right.
Maybe.
Go ahead.
Maybe they don't.
Not the one without my shirt on. No, I'm totally kidding.
I wouldn't want to see that one either.
Yeah, right. Move on.
All right, first story. Let's do it. Flickr London bomb blast, plus 230 digs submitted by JM Ridey. Now it says an organized Flickr photo collection of London's terrorist attacks on July 7th, 2005.
Yeah, we got to take it down a little bit.
Yes.
We should say You guys are going to San Francisco tomorrow, which is Friday, so we're actually recording this on Thursday night.
Right.
And it's the day that the bomb blasts happen in London, so we should definitely at least touch on it before we get into just.
Well, we want to say, you know, our hearts and prayers go out to all the people that were involved, and it was a terrible thing. But I mean, I don't know if you really consider this a positive thing, but the story is about Flickr, and the reason it's about Flickr is because they've created this group where people can submit all of their pictures. So you're getting some really unique perspectives on the event because people are submitting their phone pictures, their digital camera stills, and it's kind of like, people are submitting pictures of like, candles and things like that. It's kind of a nice way for people to get together, talk about the event, or not really talk about it, but submit pictures of the event, and you get a different take, because normally you would go to like a CNN or an MSNBC, and you would see like a slideshow of like 10 photos.
And it's all these like professional AP photographers that were there, and these are like the people that were there, that were in it, that were doing it,
And this is the first time I've really seen something like this happen around an event. And even Wikipedia had like an open project where people were adding links instantly, because you know how people can kind of get together and edit a Wikipedia story.
The whole blogging, mo-blogging thing has just changed everything.
I know.
I mean, it literally, because it's relatively recent that it's been so accessible. I mean, people are getting into it. I never had a blog before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody and their dog has a blog. But in some cases, it's really good, because there were a lot of people in the war that are blogging that are in the military.
Yeah, totally.
Blogging,
I think it's a great thing. If obviously we'll have links to this in our profile that we dig. So check it out when you get a chance.
All right. Well, so let's move on. That was a little somber, but let's try to liven it up, although this isn't very funny. But the next story we have is how to save nearly any multimedia file from the web to your hard drive. Now, you go to a site, it's got an embedded QuickTime file. Right. And it's like, a cat getting hit in the crotch or something, and you just love it. you want to send it to friends.
You know what's funny about this, though, is like I never knew about this.
I
view the source. That's what I do. I go view page source, I scroll through it, I'm like, where's that freaking image that I want, or where's that?
Like looking through and you're like, okay, that's the button 2 sentences before, and then all of a sudden it jumps. And, or they put it into some sort of weird. Anyway, let me just read this. So this story got 219 digs. It was by Glutenix, which is a very nice name there. It says, a helpful guide to make saving those pesky embedded movie files to your hard drive for future playing easier. Spoiler? Firefox's page info window. So I had no idea about this.
I had no idea.
What you do is, all you have to do is right-click anywhere on the page.
Yeah. Try this right now. So if you're at your computer, which I guess you are because you're listening to, well, you could be on your iPod jogging or something.
Yeah, whatever. Hopefully you're at your computer. Although iPod's good. Right-click anywhere on the page, because I know you're at Diggnation.com. So right-click on anywhere on the blank page and just go view page info. View page info.
That's source. I
almost said source. And there's a tab at the top that says media, and if you click on the tab, it lists all the media, the pictures, the images, the background, everything. But also, if you look under type, it'll say embedded. And then the best part is that you don't even have to dick around with copying and pasting and trying to save it. It's got a button at the bottom. It just says save as.
That's cool. This is so
one of those
handy.
things that's like built into Firefox that I'm sure lots of people knew about. But for those of us that didn't, this is one of those moments where you're just like, thank you, Firefox.
Well, how many digs are there? Apparently there's a lot of people.
There's 219, so apparently a lot of people were like, what the heck's this?
That's cool, though. You definitely got to play with that.
So that's good. You gotta take that out.
Yes. What?
Let's move on. I don't know. Take it out of the garage and run around the block.
Nice. All right, moving on. What are you talking about? Moving on. Okay. Water that does not get things wet. 176 digs submitted by B. Youngman. It looks like water, it pours, flows, and sloshes like wire, but it doesn't get things wet. Now,
this is just weird.
This is weird. I'm going to read a quote from Time Magazine.
Please.
Its name is 3M Novec 1230 Fire Protection Fluid.
That rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Why don't you just call it like super goo or something that people can remember?
Goo, like super water or something.
Super water. That's how you sell stuff.
You can dunk a laptop in it and it will come out bone dry and working fine.
As Keith told us.
It's funny. It's so funny. Our editor and cameraman and good friend Keith Harrison, he basically
we started talking about how we were going to do the story. And he was like, "Oh, I read that story."
And then he quoted it like
literally
word
quoted
for word
without even thinking. He was like, "This is this liquid you can put a laptop in, and it brings out bone dry."
I know, and I'm reading the article. I'm like, Keith, do you realize you just quoted this freaking thing word for word? It's pretty funny because he had to kind of be.
But this is now awesome, and I guess they're going to use it as a fire retardant.
Yeah.
which
They're
is
going to use it to put out fires, but it won't damage electronics.
But in offices, so like you could replace like Halion or whatever.
Dude, have you heard what that stuff does to people?
Dude, Halon sucks out the oxygen.
Yeah, like they seals the doors and they shoot the stuff down, and you're basically dead.
Dude, just think if you're like the system admin, and you're sitting in the back like, wait, I was just having a Twinkie.
Oh, that would suck, man.
Well, there are a lot of ways to die that I wouldn't like. That's one of them.
Something tells me this is going to cause cancer or something, though. Like, it just seems like some kind of weird...
You're not going to submerge yourself in it. It's just for, you know... Look, if my place caught on fire,
right,
and the fire people came over, we'll call them firemen.
Fire people.
let's call them firemen.
Yes, the fire people.
If they showed up, those fire people, and they bust down my door, I got a lot of electronics in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got like 4 or 5 computers, a replay TV, 2 Xboxes, a
big Sony
high definition Sony TV.
You've got some good stuff in here, actually.
Dude, I live pretty fat. Yeah, but I don't want all this going away in the blink of an eye.
So if they're spraying stuff, you gotta have it be with like...
It better be stuff that's not
But then how do you clean up the water? Do you... I mean, obviously it doesn't soak into stuff.
No, it evaporates. It evaporates and it turns into candy. That would be... That would be awesome. You come back, it's like, sorry, you had a fire.
There's just like candy all over the place.
You're like, thanks, fire people.
That's awesome.
That would be awesome. All right, let's move on to the next story.
I guess you'd have to vacuum it up or something. I don't know, man.
What are you going to vacuum? It's water.
Well, no,
wet dry vac.
Yeah, wet dry vac would work.
But would it get the inside of the wet dry vac?
Dude, it's still hot in your mother freaking apartment.
Dude, I'm going to get in a week. I'm going to go out and get a freaking air conditioner.
You said by next episode you have air conditioning.
I did not, and if I did, you people out there, don't tell me. Don't send him emails.
Who has the beer?
I know you got the last. Corona should. That's what we got to say. Corona should sponsor our podcast.
They really should. We've drank a few Coronas. You know the nice thing about Corona? I'm not just saying this.
It turns into candy after you pee it out.
I was just gonna say that, dude. If you put lime in here, you get like the right lime consistency. I swear to God, like it tastes like candy water, dude.
Dude, there's gonna be like there's gonna be a new website up. We should do that. We should like predict the website of the week.
That is gonna get registered.
It's gonna be registered and make, and I believe it's gonna be thecorrectcoronamix.com.
So
it's gonna be the exact amount of ounces of lime, like by weight.
Yeah, there should be that site.
Corona bottle.
I would totally
that would make it
like
the perfect taste. But anyway, you guys, if anybody out there knows any like microbrews or anything that want to throw us some 6
yeah, give us some recommendations for post them in the comments. We want to know what kind of beer to drink. Let's try a different brew every single time. That would be fun.
Dude, that'd be great.
That would be great. Then we can kind of give like not only the tech news,
we could be like the hops in this is a little off. I'm gonna give this a 2.4.
Dude, let's do that. Let's rate a beer every time and then talk about tech stuff.
All right, totally.
Cool.
And if you know anybody that supplies them, email it to I don't know wherever.
Give your email address. I might give mine out.
Dude, you gave up mine out on freaking national TV.
That's true.
Bastard.
I did. Did you get a lot of emails because of that?
Yeah. That was a fun time.
So put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. Yeah, we'll put up a public email address as well. We can create a Gmail account.
What, Diggnation@gmail.com? No, I shouldn't have said that.
Do you think that's free? Well, dude,
we can register before it goes out. Dude, it's live. Okay, all right, let's move on. Move on. Yeah, it's like I go back in time and register that domain.
Go ahead.
And by domain, I mean email address. Okay. Google Maps transparencies. Now, this is actually pretty cool. There's 167 digs. This was by TK Alice.
Dude, that's probably some guy sitting in there.
I know, he's like...
I'm Takadalis.
Dude, I did that joke last week.
I know, that was funny.
Bastard.
I liked it.
Hack. No, I'm just kidding. That was a good joke. Anyway, okay, so here we go. Click and drag anywhere, just like normal Google Maps, and see how the map view matches the satellite view, or vice versa. Control the level of transparency with the slider at the bottom.
This is really cool.
This is totally cool.
The reason I like this is because I'm constantly switching, like when I go to Google Maps, I go between satellite view and like standard map view. Yeah. And it's nice that you can kind of have both. If you haven't played with this, go check out our profile, which we'll give at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
And load this thing up because it's neat, because it's so cool.
It's like the maps overlay exactly to where the satellite image is.
Right.
You can kind of see both.
It's just a window, and then as you click around, you kind of move and see both at the same time.
Yeah, I think this is, what is this, New York over here?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Seattle, maybe?
I like that.
That's Seattle.
I've seen so many really cool things lately from the Google Maps just because they launched the API now.
Well, I was going to say...
It's not as much hacks as it is anymore. It's like actually official ways to
I was going to say, the other thing was that like, the last time I saw it was like the quadrants of images. I tried it
took a
once
while,
way back and I was like, Yahoo.
Well, no, Yahoo.
Dude, I used MapQuest or whatever the hell the Yahoo Quest is.
I used MapQuest for the longest time.
It was the only thing out there, really, that was good for a long time.
Why didn't they, like... improve. It's the same crappy MapQuest as it's always been.
Well, because you know why? It did one thing and it did it well.
You know what? Oh, you know what else too? If you haven't checked this out, not even a Dig story, go to map24.com.
What's that?
It's another kind of like Google Maps, but it's all Java based. It's actually pretty cool. I hope that's the right.
Maps24.com.
No, map24.com. Let me make sure that's the right URL. Hold on. Is it Maps24?
Is it Maps?
Hold on, I'm pulling it up.
I got dig.com.
Yeah, map24.com.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know. Check this out. just threw it out there. It's something. Dude,
you know what? Next time, just put that on Dig.
Yes,
if
you're
they
right.
want to see it, they'll dig it.
You're right.
If
My
not,
bad.
Shut up.
All right, moving on. Do not tell me to shut up.
I won't.
Moving on.
I promise. Not next time.
Okay, new Firefox update system, 181 digs submitted by Zachariah. The new Firefox update system will be patches instead of a current full install setup files method. The new system will also provide benefits for the testing community as nightly build users will be able to get the latest builds through the same update mechanism. Now this is cool. This is
patches.
Really cool. No. Yeah, it's patches.
Patches
but
instead of
download
this. I hated the fact that they did that.
You know, it sucked because you would have to download a whole nother version of Firefox, reinstall it over the top of the existing one, or I don't know if it even created a separate directory. I think it went over the top of the existing one.
I think it went over the top.
And but you notice it wouldn't remove the old entry in the add and remove programs. I didn't get that.
But it was still, but it was also. It seemed like they had everything set for it to be a patch. Right. It had a little icon. I was like, right. You updated it.
Right. You click it, and it would come up in a window.
Now you download it. You know, it's like, I already have it. And it's true, though. I probably wouldn't have upgraded to like the 1.0142 if it was something that I had to go and get and all that stuff.
Right. This is nice. I think this is coming out with version 1.1, which is due out in a couple months, I believe. Yeah. And the nice thing about it, though, is like Zachariah said right here about the community getting nightly builds. If you are like bleeding edge and you love like the latest and greatest, it'll be really cool because as they build Firefox, you'll have it.
That's
like every single night when there's a new nightly build that comes out, you'll just be able to apply that update and get all the latest changes. That sounds like fun to me.
If you really, and there are those people that really dig having that, like being able to email them and go, hey, guess what? There's a bug. It's right here. And you're like, I don't want that. I want to just have it work.
Right.
But for people who are really into that stuff, having it right there at your fingertips is great.
And it's going to make it great for like system administration as far as rolling this out in the enterprise.
Oh, much
One of the
better
big things that I've heard like complaints from like big, Fortune 500 or large companies is that they don't want to have to go around and install a brand new version of Firefox on all these hundreds of machines because that would suck as far as system administration is concerned. Yeah, we've all been there. So this is going to make it so much easier.
Running around with a tech support CD, I've been there.
Great story.
Sucks. All right, next one. Oh, this is big time. Man charged with felony for stealing someone's Wi-Fi. This is huge. It's got 155 digs. It was by hit by a train.
Nice.
User hit by a train. Police have arrested a man for using someone else's wireless internet network in one of the first criminal cases involving this fairly common practice. Now, this was done in Florida. This dude was hijacking someone's Wi-Fi, right?
Right.
Now, honestly, he wasn't like he was in an apartment complex and like, oh, I don't know how I got attached, but I'm attached to a Wi-Fi network.
Okay.
Woo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This guy was in an SUV sitting out in front of this guy's house on a laptop. The guy calls 911 and goes, there's some douche outside on a laptop in an SUV. Come get him, and they come and arrest him for stealing the guy's Wi-Fi.
I don't understand. Like, he must have been doing something really illegal.
That's the thing that we can't figure out. I read the story, and they're being very mum with what exactly it is that the guy's being charged with.
Okay.
Because it said one of the things here. This is actually on Yahoo News, so I'm sure it's just an AP story or whatever. But it said. Innocuous use of other people's unsecured Wi-Fi networks is common, though experts say that plenty of illegal use also goes undetected, such as people sneaking on other people's networks to traffic in child porn, steal credit card information, and send death threats.
Okay.
So I don't know if he was doing one of those things or something that was also illegal to do.
I can understand that for a felony. Like if you're doing the kiddie porn or the credit card thing, like that's definitely like that warrants like felony charges.
A third-degree felony is what they charged him with.
But, if you're just like, I would be a little concerned if he was just sitting outside, like, borrowing the guy's internet.
Well, Hypeiv, I guess is his name, Hypeiv, put a good comment, which was like, yeah, well, what if your computer is set to automatically connect to the strongest open access point, which a lot of people who don't know about Wi-Fi, they just have it general set to default, and it's going to just grab whatever it gets. Would you agree that if it's an open access point, it should be considered public?
I think so.
I think so. I think
so
if you're
too.
not smart enough to lock your stuff down, if people come in and snag a cookie or two, that's your bad.
I don't understand like what the big deal is because I've been driving around. I've been lost. One time I was lost. I couldn't find my way around, and I had my laptop with me.
Sure.
I just pulled up NetStumbler, found an access point, was able to pull up maps, and just like got my directions. Now, if somebody saw me sitting out front doing that, dude, I don't think that is. If that's open, like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah, and there are other times like I went to go see my girlfriend in a play. And I got there way freaking early. I was sitting in this like parking lot of this theater, and I had my laptop, and I was like, screw it. I'll see if somebody. There were like 3 open networks, so I hopped on, checking my email, doing all sorts of shit. I mean, it's nothing.
If it's open, I don't think that should be a problem. He must have been doing something like the kiddie porn.
He must have been doing something like the kiddie porn, Kevin. He must have been doing that, which is horrible.
It is terrible.
Moving on.
No, it's just funny to laugh at. We're not laughing because we like it. It's just.
I'm not laughing because we like it. That's pretty clear.
It's just funny when you say that. Like,
it's so funny how you say kiddie porn, Alex.
No, I'm gonna move on.
Let's move on to the parachute.
Okay, where are we?
Parachute guy.
Parachute. Okay.
I think it's parachute.
Is that here we are.
Yeah.
All right. Look, Mom, no parachute. 179 digs submitted by generic 119. Jumping from a plane and landing safely without a parachute.
This is awesome.
This is freaking crazy.
This is awesome. This is like the flying squirrel suit,
Did you see? He looks like a flying squirrel.
He looks like a flying squirrel.
Okay, you got to check this story out because basically this guy has developed a suit along with some other technologies that he hasn't quite unveiled yet. That's what he said.
You mean anti-gravity boots? He's like, it's this mesh lame suit and my anti-gravity boots.
It's freaking crazy. It's freaking crazy though, because if you look at the pictures, basically there's like a guy with his chute open, right?
Yeah.
He's like chilling, going down at standard like chute speeds. No, hold on. Now then you see the flying squirrel next to him. This guy's got like his legs spread and his arms spread, and he's got like wings. He looks like a freaking bat or flying squirrel.
He looks like a flying squirrel.
And he's like slowing down enough to where he can stay at par with this guy that has the parachute.
And he's saying that he wants to be able to land without a parachute.
How he's gonna land, I have no idea. He'll belly flop just fine.
Oh, dude, that would suck. Because they come in hard. It's not.
Oh, I know. Dude. So how is he gonna like make that transition? I don't know. It's very interesting. It's fun to look at the pictures.
We'll have to see about the anti-gravity boots.
He said sometime in 2005 he plans on actually doing the world's first like jump out of the plane without a parachute and being allowed to pull it off, which is cool.
Do you think in 2005 we'll be having a Diggnation podcast mourning the loss of the flying squirrel man?
Probably. Dude, you know what though? I would buy one of these suits. Would you buy one of these suits? I would try that if it worked.
I would buy it just on the off chance I ever needed one.
Exactly. Because
you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
you all know what I'm saying.
I hate flying.
Well, you hate flying. Oh, you hate flying.
I would wear what? I did have a bad story. I should probably tell people about the story.
You shouldn't tell the story about passing out on a plane. No, go.
Dude, you just said it. No. The story is like I hate flying. I'm not a big fan.
Right. You were going up to Canada to do Call for Help Canada.
No, I was just going up to visit Amber, but it was her birthday.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
So anyway, I went up there. And I was coming back from the flight, and it's a freaking long flight. So, like, it's like 4.5 hours.
Right. It's like
from Toronto back to Los Angeles.
It's like Washington to here.
So I'm thinking, like, I always like to have a little fun when I'm getting on the plane. I have a few beers before I get on.
Sure.
So I had like 4 or 5 beers. Well, actually, no, it wasn't 4 or 5. It was like 3 or 4, but they were the big ones, like the 22 style ones.
So 4 or 5.
So equivalent to 4 or 5 standard beers. And the thing is, like, I also had this stuff. It's called Ativan. It's for people that don't like to fly. No, it's
you mean the anti-anxiety pills?
Is that what it is?
It is. That's what it is. It's an anti-anxiety pill.
It's killer though, man. You take like one of those things, and I'm not saying kids at home do not try this. No. I'm not saying.
Seriously, drugs are bad.
You can't. No,
but Ativan is good.
These are prescription drugs, dude. So
that makes it better.
So basically, like you try one of these things. I took 2 of them, the 1 milligrams, and dude, I was freaking gone. Like I was like the 4.5 hour flight turns into a half-hour flight.
Right.
I kid you not, which is awesome because it's a short flight.
Sure.
But
then what happened?
Dude, I got up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And because I'd been drinking, I'm just like, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I get up and that's the last thing I remember. And then basically I have a freaking oxygen mask over my face and I'm cradled by like one of the stewardesses.
Well, that's kind of cool.
On the ground. No, it was not cool, dude. I don't remember anything. She was like, they told me to lay down in the back seats back there. It was just a nightmare. So kids, do not drink and do Ativan at the same time.
And then fly.
But if I had this suit, I wouldn't have done it because I would have had my squirrel-like suit on, and should have anything gone wrong, I'd be the first to pop the freaking door and jump out.
I would love to see somebody walk onto a commercial flight with a freaking flying squirrel suit on. And just like, hello, ma'am, nice to see you.
Dude, that would be me.
My name is
And
Jerry.
we hit turbulence, I don't care, dude. I'm popping that freaking door and I'm jumping out.
Now that's just shit.
No, I'm not saying like turbulence.
You're like, oh my God, it's turbulence.
No, I shouldn't have said
Out the
turbulence.
door.
I meant like, if something's going wrong with the plane and we're going down, I'm going to freaking fly and squirrel it down to the ground, dude. I don't know. It sounds like a good idea to me.
No, it does. It definitely. Let me know
And
how that
now
goes.
Everyone knows that I passed out on the
And
airplane.
I'm never flying with you ever again.
Next story.
Next
moving on.
story. The world, according to Livejournal, got 47 digs. This is on the main page today.
Yes, I dug this today.
Submitted by Chris B., a PhD student in the Information and Language Processing Systems group at the University of Amsterdam, has programmed a Livejournal mood tracker. Pretty interesting stuff.
This I like.
That's what they said.
Oh, that's what
So
you were saying that.
yeah, right. So the deal is that it's this website, right? And what it does is that this guy has he's actually listed. He's made like this chart because I guess with Livejournal, one of the things you do because Livejournal is a free blogging site, a little bit like TypePad but free.
Right, TypePad. Well, they have like a pro version too, I think. But yeah.
Sure, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But one of the things that you can do is you can actually select what mood you were in when writing the topic.
Right,
So
there's like a drop down or something like that.
Yeah.
There's like 15 or 20 different
There's
moods.
a bunch of these, like depressed, blank. I feel blank, bored, bouncy, busy, calm, cheerful, chipper, cold, complacent, confused. All of them.
Right.
So what this guy has done is he's literally graphed
Over time,
all of the users that are feeling that way on that day when they submit a topic. So like let's go here. So I'm gonna do bouncy.
Okay.
Okay. So everybody who is bouncy.
Don't do bouncy. That's like the worst. Oh, bouncy.
Dude,
dipped.
bouncy's dipping. Bouncy dipped. There was a sharp decline in bounciness between Sunday, July 3rd and Tuesday, July 5th. I don't know what happened that weekend, but boy, did people get unbouncy.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was some sort of...
Well, the funny thing is, like, go to angry. Watch how much it spikes.
This
because
spikes
of the
today.
terrorist
Yeah,
attacks.
definitely.
Look at that spike.
Huge spike. It goes from, like, it's usually hovering right a little bit about zero. Like
Right,
a couple
up and
here
down
there,
a little bit. This
up
was
to
when Michael
120.
Jackson. Yeah.
Boom. Just on today, 120.
It's crazy. This is kind of fun to look at, though, because you can kind of track, I mean, I'm not going to say, like, world, like, moods, but, they have a pretty significant user base.
I mean, yeah, it's at least it's trends. I mean, maybe here's the Michael Jackson trial. No, I'm totally kidding. Bitchy. Let's see about bitchy. So this is kind of good. You can find out when a good date day is.
Oh, that's not a good day.
Nobody was blogging on the 3rd to the 5th, I guess.
That's terrible. Well, I think the graph system was down for that day.
The 2nd was a bitchy day.
It's an interesting.
It is a bitchy day.
It's fun to play at this.
It is.
There's a ton of different.
It's one of those.
emotions.
It's one of those. Metadata sites that just culls all this information in a weird way, and you're like, oh, I'll dig that.
I like it.
No pun intended, which it was.
Yes. Next one, got to tell you about this. I hear rumors.
The rumor mill is buzzing.
It is indeed. Dig 2.0, the new version, is going to be launching soon. And I hear Sunday is the day.
You hear Sunday? The little birdie told you Sunday?
Little birdie, myself, told me Sunday.
The little birdie told me that the Diggnation is actually going to be pretty prominent on the...
Yes. Well, not until like Tuesday. But we're going to get a nice... Because the initial template doesn't support that. We have to make some modifications. Anyway, it'll be up there. The podcast will be... The podcast will be like prominently listed somewhere within Dig 2.0. But it's going to go live. All those features that we talked about last week will be live. And it'll be very speedy, hopefully. Because multiple servers...
I don't know what happened, but today, this whole week, it's been a little slow.
Well, you know what the problem is? Honestly, I believe that it's due to the podcast. Because the podcast is getting picked up all over the place, and people are just learning about Dig for the first time.
Which is great, because that's what we wanted this to... I mean, it's like, that's what they wanted this to do.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Bring people to Dig. And
Dig user registration's like up like threefold. It's crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Since we launched the podcast. So,
wow.
It's all good news, but hopefully that'll speed things up. So if you've been experiencing some slow times during the last week, that'll really help out.
Good.
That's it. We're done.
Is that it? We're through another one?
We should give our URLs for everything.
Give them.
Of course, dig.com, gigg.com for all things Dig, and then /users Diggnation. So dig.com /users /Diggnation. Those are the stories that we have talked about today.
Yeah, it'll be every story in all the podcasts, and it keeps it, right? It's going to be every story that's ever mentioned on Diggnation.
It's like a social bookmarking thing. It keeps all those things a history for you, so you can always go back and reference that and see exactly what we've been digging.
Zombie Dogs from last week.
Yes, Zombie Dogs was great. Also, we have our own personal user profiles. I'm
Yes.
dig.com/user/Kevin Rose.
And I'm dig.com/user/Alex Albrecht.
And then if you want links to all this stuff or any of this stuff,
Or to vote for us, to find an easy way to vote for us.
Go to diggnation.com. Lower right-hand corner is where we have all the links to vote for us and whatnot.
Is the iTunes link up there? Or do you
it's not now, but it will be by the time people hear this.
Perfect.
I can make that happen.
That's what we call time shifting.
That's right.
Bitches.
We're done.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, that's it. Well, thanks for joining us on our second outing. And
yes, I'm Kevin Rose.
And I'm Alex Albrecht, and we will see you next week.
Later.
When I look round